Well, as expected, Iran did retaliate. Overnight, tens of missiles sent towards military bases inside Iraq. Some hitting those bases, most from what I could see, landing in the desert outside. Mercifully, nobody was killed or injured. And that, I think, was a good opportunity, perhaps for President Trump when he responded, to perhaps not sound too warlike. And he did respond about an hour and a half ago in a press conference. He stood there with Mike Pence, the vice president, standing next to him, surrounded by senior figures from the Air Force, the Navy, and the Army. Let's listen to a little piece of what Donald Trump had to say.
As long as I'm president of the United States, Iran will never be allowed to have a nuclear weapon. I'm pleased to inform you the American people should be extremely grateful and happy. No Americans were harmed in last night's attack by the Iranian regime. Iran appears to be standing down, which is a good thing for all parties concerned and a very good thing for the world. No American or Iraqi lives were lost because of the precautions taken, the dispersal of forces, and an early warning system that worked very well. We are now the #1 producer of oil and natural gas anywhere in the world. We are independent, and we do not need Middle East oil. The American military has been completely rebuilt under my administration at a cost of $2.5 trillion. U.S. armed forces are stronger than ever before. Our missiles are big, powerful, accurate, lethal, and fast. Under construction are many hypersonic missiles. The fact that we have this great military and equipment, however, does not mean we have to use it.
That was important.
We do not want to use it. American strength, both military and economic, is the best deterrent.
So that was Donald Trump. The opening line sounded very tough, didn't it? As long as I'm president, Iran will never have a nuclear weapon. It sounded very tough, but actually that's been American policy for the last successive series of presidents. Actually, my view was he was calm, statesman-like. The speech was relatively short and to the point. Interestingly, he called on NATO to do more in the Middle East. And that was a very, very interesting moment because part of the Trump narrative is that NATO, if it's to be an effective organisation, can't just be America in terms of what they pay for the military, in terms of what they do. And I think he feels that in the military war against ISIS, and yes, sure, the RAF were involved and other Europeans had some role, but basically he feels it was the American part of NATO that was doing the heavy lifting. So that, I think, is something that will lead to a lot of debate in European capitals over the next few months. But it was calm, it was statesmanlike. Mercifully, nobody was killed or wounded by those Iranian missile strikes. And for now, it draws a line under this little conflict. It does not mean that the problems have gone away for the long term. Is this a victory for Trump? Well, he's kind of trying to claim that it is. And if taking out Iran's senior military brain, and he's gone, he's out, finished, dead, and if in response, there's a little bit of collateral damage to a couple of US bases in Iraq, probably this is a pretty good moment for the US president. And I hope and think and believe, short term at least, it's a good moment for all of us. And I say that because World War III has over the last couple of days been the most searched for, Googled for phrase on the internet. And, talk of, is this going to lead to war? So let me ask you, has President Trump done enough to alleviate your fears about a world war?